Hello there, everyone. Hello, and welcome back to Better Than Wolves. I'm recording solo tonight, although Steve and Kate are online, because tonight I am going to build an automated chicken farm, and I need to wrap my head around all this technical stuff quietly today, because it's been a while since I built anything more complicated than a roof on our house. So this monstrosity here is the rough draft of the chicken farm. Still a work in progress, but if all goes according to plan, this will supply us with significant quantities of chicken. So the first thing I'm going to need is a 5-minute timer. Now, things I don't remember. Yes, it did. Okay. So there's the good news. This was added after the ability to place these upside down was added. So a simple 5-minute timer. We're going to make a sawdust-powered hopper dispenser-based 5-minute timer. And it is going to produce a double pulse signal for us. So we need that. 3 sides like so. And then... oops, dang it, ceiling. Alright, fine, it'll go there. So that'll go there. And then redstone wire there. Good, that powers that, that's all. Oh! Really? Oh, that's neat. And interesting. Right! Of course. So this will have to go in the ceiling. 1 higher, because I don't really want to rip too many more holes in the floor of our workshop. There's going to be a building on the surface here before long, so don't worry about that, guys. It's not going to lead to our disaster and ruination, though it might in the short term as I try and put this thing together. So yeah, it's the purpose behind this. Basically, we realized that we were running low on feathers very quickly, so determination was made that we needed more feathers. Okay, so if we do it this way instead, because we want an invert, we actually want the signal to invert, so we need the redstone torches I grabbed. I'm hoping to do this with as little material as possible. So I need to get a signal back up to our block dispenser there with as little material as possible. And I think the way to do that will be just to run a quick wire up like so. Like so. There we go. So now we just need to quickly invert the signal here. Perfect. 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 Okay, so that's a 5-minute item despawn based timer. That is very tight to the ceiling, but it will do the job in the moment. So I can seal that up like so. We'll use 1 piece of glass to be able to observe that there is an item in here. And I'll make something to reset this thing if I screw it up at a later time. I mean, I could just break the torch and there we are. Okay, 5-minute timer complete. We have so much sawdust coming out our ears right now. You can hear Kate cutting some wood right now. Yeah, we have so much of this right now, it's just stupid, so there's really no reason to waste it, and that's going to be a pain. Don't worry, guys, I'm aware of how weak the diamond's pick is here. I'm not going to use it to death. Okay, so the design calls for, there's 2 cells with 2 chickens each in them. So each of those is going to, so we're going to build half of this. It calls for 2 cells. but we're only going to build one of them today. We're going to build the closer cell because then I can start producing without wasting materials. So there's cell number 1, such as it is. So these will fire eggs out, and those eggs will fall into, will explode, and you'll get either raw egg, which will run through these powered hoppers here and here, or live chickens, which will run into here, which we'll go over in a minute once I figure out how to power the hoppers. Because that's been the biggest bugbear. Now, power is actually a problem because gold, redstone are still a slightly, here I am being uncautious. At least I know this area is fully safe. So, yeah. Let's worry about those dispensers first. We'll just quickly bridge this temporarily. Okay, not that. I can't get, because I can't get where I need to go from there. We need to go over here. And we'll redo this flow ceiling later, because there'll be we're going to build a small outbuilding above this, possibly off screen. Alright, so from this dispenser, and this is going to actually produce a double pulse. One of the double pulses will be down here. So what we'll do is we'll run this over this. This is actually a wire bridge specifically for this purpose. We don't need that. Definitely doesn't want to be accessible. So if all goes according to plan, there's one. So the purpose of this, let's just make sure this will reach, because if I can build this whole thing without, yes I can, well, at least no repeater on this side. Okay, that's half of it. Now for the other half. And that has to go. Torch up 1 level. Yeah, it's crowded in here. You may have noticed. This is what happens when you're trying to be as efficient as possible with your space use. The whole surface around here is pretty safe, so I'm not too worried. Trent and I have been spending a great deal of time. Alright, so that's that. Now the question is, how far can we go? We'll just take a work row here. We'll take that out a little later, because we aren't going to need this area. There'll be power to the row above us. Let's just hope it does not reach the whole way. So we are going to need a repeater, but it can be... No, it can't be a... Actually, it could be a poor man's repeater, couldn't it? Because all we need is for this thing to pulse 2 times at non-specific intervals. So a poor man's repeater should do it. So we'll do that. We'll put all the wiring in for these, even though 2 of them aren't going to be active yet, because that way I don't have to come back in here and reassemble it later. So that takes care of that. We can replace those, fix those later. So that's step 1. Okay. Now we need the pulse. So the easiest way to get a double pulse in Minecraft, oh yes, is with a repeater. I'm just wondering if this is going to work the way I think it will. Oh, it might. Okay. That isn't going to work, is it? What? Okay, so... right, the repeater. Repeaters. So I need at least 2 of those for this to work the way I want it to, actually. Or I need a redstone torch. Okay, I'm not going to be the guy who was too lazy to go down and cut 1 bloody piece of wood to the size he needs it. I need torches. Get a few extra here just in case. So we need one torch. This might work and to do the what I need it to do. It'll also give me one extra pulse of delay. Now ideally I'd be doing this on the surface at the same time, but so that goes there and that goes there. So now, did I hear two? Oops. Right, we've just built a clock. Okay, so let's see, how can we do this so that it doesn't turn into a clock? We need the we need a repeater. We need a second repeater. Now what is the recipe for a repeater in Better Than Wolves? So we might as well just use 2 repeaters. There's no reason to waste a redstone torch, especially because we're going to need 2 redstone torches to accomplish this, actually. But it might be nice if I could remember. Does it require an actual clock to build a repeater? It might. If that's the case, that's a very expensive device. I can't remember if it's just a clock or just nether quartz. I know a clock is just a circle of... Well, let's try it with the quartz first. Does it use smooth? It uses smooth stone. I have smooth. Good. I have stone baking. Good thing, too. That's clay. That's smooth stone. 3 smooth stone. My gut feeling is it requires a clock. The old design required just redstone. Definitely doesn't require that, which makes me suspect. I mean, we're going to need clocks, more clocks. But boy, that makes this a real expensive gadget. Yep. Repeaters are that expensive, guys, in Better Than Wolves, which means, right, clock, which means I need to not waste my, boy, that just works perfectly, doesn't it? Because I'm going to need that signal up to there as well, which actually I could do. I'll run it off of... Okay, so redstone is the most inexpensive material we have. And I need to get the double pulse to the surface, but I don't want to double pulse this thing, which means it needs to be after this system here. So we'll draw the pulse there at slow speed, pulse there at high speed. Okay, did that do what it was supposed to do? I don't know, but there's an easy way to find out. Let's put 2. I don't think that's working the way I wanted it to, though. I could put one more tick of delay in there by inverting that. Alright, let's try this. Perfect, I think. Okay, we'll double check that. That only cycled once. Okay, let's see. Right, because it's being forced to stay on by the repeater being configured that way. Oh, okay, I see. I need a... What's it called? So this is taking too long to turn off. I need either more delay on this still, which I could do with two. Well, let's try that on for size and see what happens. We got the materials for one more torch. Let's make it, and let's just see if adding one more torch's worth of delay to this will do the job. This is not excitement at its best, but this is really the bones of Better Than Wolves, I think. Right. So we need to take it just a little further this way. Power that. That will power this block, which will turn that torch off, which will turn that on. And now if we gather our material. Okay, so that's going to be a minor flaw in the design. Occasionally we're not going to get the eggs, but you know what? They're not the primary purpose of this. Yeah, okay, it's still not working. So I'm going to need a, what's called a pulse limiter, which works by turning these into short pulses. How did that work? I can't even remember how to make one of these things right now. Is it something like that? Where it comes down off of there. I think that... Is that the one we needed? No, that's not quite it. How did that work? Oh, right. I've built so many of these things, and the fact that I can't remember how to make them is just a little annoying. It's repeater, and then the output line goes like this. It has a torch on the side, and it needs to be done in such a way. Is that it? If I did that right, that should be generate one very short pulse. Just one, unfortunately, but that should. I didn't see. Yeah, that's more like it. Now we take that pulse limiter, because that's also doubling as a signal backflow, so to speak. And we send that same pulse through there, and that should give us 2 punches, if I've done this right. 2 in there. Two pulses, I think. Test again. If this works, we can move on to the next step. Yes, that's a double pulse. Okay, so we have a 5-minute timer with a double pulse generator. Okay, that's our next step. So the next step is mechanical power, and this is going to be a pain in the butt. We have a water wheel nearby. We'll also need the saw, because this is for the killing system. So we can get rid of this. This has served its purpose. Signals will get where they need them. We need them. So here I've pre-carved the tunnel down to where our water wheel is located. There it is. Now we need power to those two hoppers. And we're going to do this with as few axles, as few systems as possible. So that's the part where this matters. Now the saw, the killing saw, is going to go right here. Right above us is where the chickens come in, right there. And now, according to my calculations, I should be able to power this thing from the side, which unfortunately doesn't leave us a lot of options. But I think if we take it there, yeah, this is going to be a bit of a pain. Oh, hold on. I'm a silly person. That will work. That will work okay. I need to take it under. But that'll take way too many. See, I don't even know if this design will work the way I'm hoping it will. Do we sacrifice? Well, I guess we just risk some eggs. Not the end of the world. The eggs are the least important thing from this. They'll be nice to haves, they're not need to haves, unlike the other products of this system. So a couple of eggs sitting on the floor will not grossly mess up our survival rating here. Okay. In fact, they're probably the least important item out of all of this. So losing a couple that might happen to be at the wrong angle is not a big deal as far as I'm concerned. Alright, so we need to bring power from there up. And the first row will be... Okay, so due to length, that's going to be a pain. So if we bring that down there. 1, 2, and 3. Good. And then we'll bring the power across to the main system here. It'd be interesting to know if you guys think you can see a better way to put this thing together within the limitations of a mechanical system. They have to be 3 blocks apart. I just need to be able to see what's going on here. There we are. And then we'll go 1, 2, 3. Boom. That was not very helpful, was it? We're using way more gearboxes than I wanted to have to use here. I might just have to build more. It's not the end of the world if I do. Alright, so that's power up to a hopper, almost. Wait, hold on. This hopper should have power. Does not have power. Why does it not have power? Because there's redstone on top of it. Because there's powered redstone on top of the bloody hopper. Okay. So my inversion idea will cause me grief, as will that saw if I keep falling in that hole like that. So what I need to do is plug up this water stream, which I needed to do anyways. That takes care of that. Oh man, it's been 5 minutes already. That's kind of a scary thought, isn't it? Okay, so I need to double invert. There's just no way around it. I need one more stick, which means I need one more set of moldings. Or I just need to cut one of these up. One more redstone torch. Yeah. So yeah, poor man repeaters are going to be very, very valuable because compact redstone is bloody expensive. And that's okay. You know what? That is just fine for the most part. Okay, so we'll just move this around a little. Put that there. And that one will go right here. And that will ensure that the whole system, that the hoppers will turn off briefly while the system is firing, which is not the end of the world. I approve. Okay. Moving along, we need to connect up 4 of these. And we're going to do it here. Now then, this one will connect up. Actually, we only need to connect up. Right. Sorry, the 4 is at a different section of the project. There's that, and there's that. Okay. So those are the secondary hoppers, or the secondary gearboxes. And now we just need to hook up the saw. And that answers a very valuable question to me. You can power saws from the side. Now let's turn this thing off so I don't accidentally kill myself on a saw while we're building this thing. Okay. So, now then, now comes the really interesting part. Above those dispensers, we're going to put another set of hoppers. Oh, I'm not watching my food, which are where those wood blocks are right now. I happen to have the hoppers I need for it right there. Now these hoppers are going to have chickens on top of them. This is where the chickens will live. In case I hadn't mentioned it, this is going to be a fully automated semi-automatic chicken farm and feather harvesting system. I'm going to put all these hoppers in for now, then I don't have to come back in here to replace those. I just don't have enough of the... I don't have enough dispensers right now, and I'd rather not waste them until I absolutely use them for this until I have to. Okay, now we have to power those. And those will have to be powered right there, which means carving things back a little further, and they're going to have to go around this. This is going to be the expensive part, but I think what we'll do is we'll save, let's see, axles are less costly, so we want to bring it down right there, which means we want to do you there. Although if we could do it, I think it's no difference, is it? Because of the way this thing is laid out, because it's all the redstone wires kind of get in our way. We might even just do half of this at one time. We can always fire up more of it later. The important thing is to just get production up and running. So put you there, you go there, and then you drop down and hook up, and now those hoppers are powered. And now we can consider putting in a floor for our own security here, because right now, if something were to come crawling out, we'd be in real trouble. So we put... Let's see, so actually the only thing we need exposed above the ground is that, and that, that, and that,